He says, حرمان الطاعة. The sins, they prevent you from other good deeds. They prevent you from obedience to Allah. He says, and if there was no other effect of sins except this, and that it cuts you off from the ways of obedience, this is enough. He says the sin cuts you off from the other good deed. Then the other sin cuts you from the third good deed. And the fourth, and continuous. So it cuts the slave from the good deeds, so many good deeds. Everything from these, the good deeds, they are good for him in the dunya and the akhirah, not just the dunya. And he says, and this is an example of somebody, example of somebody who ate some food which brought to him sickness for a long time, which prevented him from eating other good types of food which are better than that food which he ate. Wallahu al-musta'an. There's some food which is bad, but you still want to do it. It's like the sin. You eat it and the effect is that it makes you so sick, it prevents you from eating the good types of food for a long time. Likewise the sins. Because of that one sin, it prevents you from so much good. Number 9, he says, and this is a long point he mentioned, we'll just summarize, is that the sins, they cut off your age, your lifespan in this world. They make it short. He says, and it takes away the barakah, the blessing from the age. And it has to. He says, wala bud. He says, just like how righteousness increases in your age and lifespan, likewise the opposite is the same also. The sins, they make your age short. And he says the people have differed in this topic, meaning the scholars. He says, some of them said, what do you mean by the lifespan being decreased is the taking away of the barakah, the blessing from the age. He says this is true. This is true. And it is one of the effects of sins. Another group of scholars say rather it decreases it actually in reality. The lifespan actually decreases. Just like how it decreases the provision, the rizq. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the barakah, the blessing for the rizq. He has made for it reasons. Reasons to bring rizq, there's reasons. The Prophet ﷺ said, to give an example, the one who wants his lifespan to be increased and is to gain more rizq, let him do what? Who knows the hadith? Yes, to join his relatives, to have good relation with their relatives. He says just like that, there's so many reasons, and there's other hadith on this topic. The barakah of the age comes with these obediences. Likewise, the opposite then is the same. The sins, they take off that blessing and take off and reduce the age. And they said, he says, and they said, just like, he says, just like the age increases because of good deeds, because of these reasons, likewise the age decreases because of these reasons. He says just like the arzaq, the provisions, and the age, and happiness, and wretchedness, and good health, and disease or sickness, and poverty or richness, all of these are by the decree of Allah. Everything happens by the decree of Allah. So this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees these things because of what He has made of their reasons. What He has made of their reasons. Everything which happens, Allah has put a reason for it. For you to gain good health, eat good food. For you to be cured, what do? You sit and say, Allah will cure me. That's what you do. What do? Take some medicine. Right? Everything has its reason. And that's because Allah told us, take a reason and Allah make the thing happen. It says, now another group said, the effects of sins in cutting off the age of the lifespan, it is because, and this is very, very important, this is the point which is very, very delicate and nice. He says, because the real life is the life of the heart. The real life is the life of the heart. And because of this, Allah has declared, Allah has said that the kafir is dead, is not alive. As Allah said, أَمْوَاتٌ غَيْرُ أَحْيَاءٍ. They're dead, they're not even alive. Allah says about the kafirs, about the disbelievers. That's like the one who does not do dhikr, he's heedless. Rasulullah said, he's dead, he's like dead. In reality, the heart does not have life. Life of the heart is through the taqwa of Allah. When there's no taqwa, the heart is dead. The heart is dead. Huh? So he says the real life is the life of the heart. And the age of the human now, the age of the human, is the age of is the lifespan of the heart. When the heart is alive, that's your real age, which is countable, and that's what counts, yani. When the heart is alive. If the heart is dead, you are not counted like you are living. There's no benefit in this life of yours. We see that? He says, so that's the reality. So those few hours in this life, those are the real hours of his. So righteousness and piety and obedience to Allah increase those few hours or that time or that duration. And that is the real life. That is the real life. And there's no life except that. Like we said, we have to focus on the life on our hearts, brothers and sisters. This is very, very important. Allah said, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. He has been successful, the one who purifies the heart. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. He says, وَبِالْجُمْلَةِ, to summarize, the person, when he turns away from Allah and becomes busy with the sins, the days of his life are actually taken away. The days which will bring the real fruits, they're cut off. Until the day, and the day when he really feels this loss, is the day when he will say, Ya laytani qaddamtu li hayati. I wish I put forth the good deeds for my life. Wasn't he alive? He was here. He had a birth certificate. He had a SIN number. He used to work. But for him also he realizes, my life was nothing. Because he did not use that real life, the life of the heart. So he says, he has wasted his real life and his life has gone away with nothing. The next point, the 10th point, is that sins lead to next sins. A sin leads to a sin. He says the sins lead to the other sins, and they give birth to others, until it becomes very hard on the person to leave these sins and to get away from them. As some of the Salaf said, he says, verily from the punishment of sins is that you do another sin. And the reward of good deeds is that you are led to do another good deed. So a person who does a good deed, the other good deed says to him, which is on its side. He says, when a person does a good deed, the other good deed on the side says to him, "I'milni aydan, do me also. Do me also." And when he does it, the third one says, "And me also." And it continues. So the profit increases, he says. And the good deeds, they become multifold. And he says, likewise, at the other end, the sins is the same also. The sins is the same also.